So what we're making today is this cute little basket out of construction paper. So this is a very easy dollar store craft. What I'm using here is construction paper from the dollar store. I think it was a Crayola brand. And I've cut it into 1/2-inch strips. And let me give you a tip here. With a full sheet of construction paper, what I've done is cut along the long dimension, cut it in half. So this measured to be along the short dimension was 9 inches. So I cut it in half at 4.5, and then I laid it on top of each other, or you could actually just, fold it and cut. So then you're going to cut from the double layer of construction paper, you're going to cut 1/2-inch strips. And I found that that cuts easier on your paper cutter than to cut it individually. So then the next step we're going to do is just take them all and fold them in half. And what we want is 10 strips of paper. So doubling it up, you're going to cut it 5 times. Okay, I like to fold all mine ahead of time, and they don't have to be folded perfectly in half because we're going to have a lot of excess that we're going to cut off. So to begin with, you're going to take and insert this one into this piece like this, okay? Now you're going to leave a little bit hanging out over here, all right? Then you're going to take your piece with the fold on the opposite end. So this one is open here. This one is folded at this end. And this one is going to go over this piece. All right. I'll leave a little bit sticking out over here. And then we're going to put a piece right here. So we're just weaving. We want it to go over this one and actually into the center. If I can get it to open up for me. Into the center of this one. All right. So if I pull on all of those correctly, you'll see that I've made a little square. Okay. Now, I want these pieces to be long out this direction. All right, and I'm just going to lay that down so that you can see what's happening here. Now we're going to go and weave the rest of them along this direction, and we're just going to follow the pattern that we have here. So easily you're just going to go over this one and then in between this one. Okay, so when we're done, we will have the same amount going up, which will be 4, as we do having going down. All right, so the next one is just the opposite, and we want to go in between. Make sure when you're hiding them that you go in between the papers. All right, so once you have your 4 strips on each side, you just want to tighten everything up. And then this one that we have the excess here, this is the folded end. I'm just going to pull from the other direction until I have it typed over here. Okay. So make sure that those two are pulled tight. You want to double check your weaving on both sides. You can see here I've got one that didn't get tucked under. So I'm going to do that real quick before we move on. Okay. And there we are. Okay. So now the next step we're going to do is we're going to take this end over to the other end. And as they touch, you can see that this one is on top and this one is underneath. So we're going to take that tail and go underneath. Just kind of finesse it through there. All right, and pull it in tight. And then you're going to hide it under the next one. And so we want 2 squares on each side. Okay? So now you can start to fold this so that it's got 2 on each side. And then we're going to go with the other one, and the same thing. We're going to go underneath, pull it. Okay, so once you have those ends tucked under, you want to just give it a good crease on the 4 sides, so you have a square. All right, now we're just going to go on one end. It doesn't really matter which end we go, but we're going to take the 2 opposite sides. You can put a little crease there, fold this over, give it a little crease. All right, so now I like to match the patterns that are here, if at all possible. But if not, actually, they're both, let's see, we've got an under, so this one will go over, and then this will go in between these two. All right, now I'm going to leave this one loose here because I want to get underneath it. So here's a trick. You want to pull it loose like this, and then go in and take the bottom one and pull it tight. So now you have an opening. Okay, so this one is going to go over and under that one. Okay, and then you're just going to make sure that, first of all, you pull that one to match, and then just make them all nice and tight. And once again, you can go in and kind of give a little crease at those points. All right, now all we have to do is follow what's going on here. So this one is on top, this one is under. So I'm just going to take that under, give it a little crease right there, and go around to the next one. Give it a little crease at the bottom. So now we're down to the last one. All right, so now we're going to cut these ends off. Okay, so I'm going to take my scissors, I'm going to go in and I'm going to lift that up just a little bit and cut along that edge there. Same with this one, just lift up a little bit. Okay, so there's our box. and you definitely could leave it like this. But what I did for the handle is I took 2 of my scrap pieces, the long ones, and I just twisted it. So I folded in half. So I've got 2 stacked on top of each other, and I folded, and then I kind of pinched and twisted, pinch and twist. So I'm kind of trying to soften this up as well as twist the paper. So I'm pinching and twisting until I get to the end. And when you get to the end, you can leave a little teeny bit that's flat. Okay, so now I'm really twisting tight here. So as I twist, it's softening it up, and it's also making it stick together. You don't want to twist too hard to the point where you start to rip it, which I just started to do a little tear there, so I want to be careful. Okay, so now I'm just going to twist these really tight, pinch them together. If you want, you could use a little glue. I don't see the need for it. Alright, so now my handle is nice. If you want, you could, roll it on your surface to make it nice and round. But basically, we're just going to curve it and then take those flat ends, stick them into the opened piece here. Doesn't really matter which layer you go into. And then pull it over towards the center. Same with this one. I'm going to just find a layer to stick it into. Push it all the way down in there and pull it over to the center. Now, you can shape your handle as you'd like. I'm going to take a little bit of glue just to hold that handle in place. So I'm going to just stick a little teeny dab of glue in there and pinch it tight. Just kind of reconstruct what my handle looks like here. And you don't have to make a handle, but you could. You could do one out of wire. You could do it out of cording. Alright, and then to finish it off, I just put a little embellishment on there. And what I have here are some flowers I made from the dollar store, and I will link to that tutorial. So we just want to find a cute one that we can stick on there. So I originally was thinking about going with a purple on here, which I really like the look of that. So I'm going to do that. My center has come off one of these guys, so I'm just going to take it and put it back on this one. And when I made those, I made them with like glue dot type adhesive. So they're already sticky, but since this guy's coming off, I'm just going to put a little more glue underneath him. Now these were white flowers that I colored with marker with alcohol ink. I will link to the video for that. So hopefully I can get that little gem to stick there. As I'm doing it, I am causing some of my marker color to come off on the gem. So Alright, the back is really sticky, so I don't feel like I need any more glue there. But then I just stuck it onto the handle, like so. And that made our cute little containers.